is Inge. I'm the pastor of Freedom's Lutheran Church in Charlottesville, Pennsylvania, a little hamlet about 60 miles northwest of Philadelphia in the rolling hills of Pennsylvania Dutch country. When I was a student at Trinity Lutheran Seminary, I worked in the Healthy Congregations office, and I was lead staff until my graduation in 2014. While a student, I participated in Family of Origin group, attended multiple national gatherings, and was trained as a facilitator. I moved to Charlottesville to begin my pastorate as a single 28-year-old female from the Midwest who had never before set foot in the area. Within 18 months, a staff member died of cancer. The congregation voted to affirm same-gender couples' right to marry in the sanctuary, and council voted to reduce the frequency of our Saturday night worship service. Those decisions were controversial, and attendance and financial giving declined by about a third. Loss, division, grief, and blame were the order of the day. Not exactly how you hope to begin your ordained ministry. One of the members of the Saturday night worship service, who I'll call June, had been suffering from a liver condition that mostly kept her homebound. After council's decision, she organized an ambush from her dining room table, calling all the members of Saturday night to spring a discussion on me. The next week, I called up June and went to her house. I remembered the words I had heard from my exposure to healthy congregations. When people are angry at you, stay connected. In my emotional mind, when people are mad at you, you stay the hell away from them. Cutoff is comfortable, don't you know? But systems thinking told me to move toward the anxiety, not away from it. So I scaled the steps into June's trailer with my communion kit in tow. June had been spending an awful lot of time on the phone, especially with Edith, another woman who was angry at the decision to reduce the frequency of Saturday night worship. She told me, "We talked about how smart you are, but you have no business being a pastor. You aren't fit for the ministry." Her husband sat at the end of the table with a smug look on his face, as he was enjoying this whole thing. And I cried. All my insecurities about being a young intellectual in rural America on my face. Then I got out the stale wafers and recited the ancient words, "In the night in which he was betrayed." I got in my car and I called my parents. I told my friends. I hurt. And then I went back. June told me the next time. My friend told me that I'm going through a grief process, and I think she's right. I went back again. June had a stroke. I went back. Her condition continued to decline, and I kept going back. Eventually, when she was reaching the final stages of her liver failure, her husband called to ask me to come. "Will you burn communion?" he asked. It was our last supper. Her funeral was the last I officiated before the pandemic hit. And at the luncheon, I sat with her cousins who had pink and purple hair as they shared memories from June's childhood. They talked about her parents' fights that were bilingual. He would scream at her in Polish and she at him in German. They remembered June's uncles who loved to tease family as an act of love and walked down the streets of 1940s Allentown dressed like lobsters. Her Roman Catholic relatives held my hand and told me, "I didn't know what to think about a female priest, but I felt so at home at her funeral mass. You captured exactly who she was. Thank you." With her family gathered in that Rust Belt ethnic social hall, I saw a bit of my mother's Eastern European immigrant family, and I got a larger picture of a woman who had a damn tough exterior and was willing to defend what she loved ferociously. My exposure to healthy congregations in seminary gave me some thinking to put into perspective the personal attacks that come with controversial and schismatic moments in congregational life. I had heard the theory about staying connected when people are angry at you, and in this situation with June, I had the opportunity to live out that understanding with myself. Thanks to healthy congregations, I was able to learn that even the struggle to stay connected is an essential piece of what it means to be a pastor.